when I knew I was auditioning for it, I watched Resident Evil Damnation, but Rebecca wasn't in there.
Right.
So I had a limited scope of the world. Of course, I knew about the video games, and I'd seen things in the ethos. But I know so much more now that I've done it, and so much more about who she was in the past. I mean, I learned that as we were filming, but much more now from fans and from doing press stuff. And
This is one of those properties where fans are watching you both with the eagle's eye, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's this beloved franchise.
From the beginning, man. When I first took on the mantle of Leon like 6-7 years ago, I'll never forget the moment I got the call and was like, yes! Oh, don't mess this up.
Right.
Oof. No pressure.
Right, no pressure. This is kind of a cool pairing for me because I think Leon and Rebecca are two characters who haven't interacted much in the game, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this movie to kind of see the two characters interact. So, man, I wonder if you could set the stage. What is Vendetta about? Because it's been a few years since Damnation.
It has been a few years since Damnation and 6, and what you do is you get to see, for Leon at the very least, you get to see how his previous experiences have affected him. The kind of PTSD and the survivor's guilt and the reality that all the things he's done just doesn't seem to really make a difference if this keeps happening. And him coming to terms with whether or not it's even worth it to throw his hat in the ring again and try and make a difference. And then you have Chris, who's trying so hard to still be the soldier, to be that survivor, and to do his job no matter what aggressive stance it means to make that happen.
Right.
Then you have Rebecca that comes in as not just the voice of reason, but the heroic voice to kind of hopefully smack them out of their respective masculine pitfalls and actually get things done.
Because Rebecca's been through the ringer at this point too.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I wonder if you could give me an overview, Rebecca/Aaron. What is Rebecca? Put me in her shoes. What's she got going on in her head right now? Where is she in this movie?
That's a great question. What we've been saying is I love the fact that the audience, the fans haven't seen Rebecca in almost 20 years.
Right.
And you saw her as a young adult, just about to leave her teen years. And now you see her as a fully formed woman. She's this brilliant scientist and she's out making a difference in her life. And then you come in and you get to see her in all the ways. You get to see her use her brilliant mind, and then you get to see her be heroic, and you get to see her wrangle the guys, and you get to see her be vulnerable, and you get to see her be scared, and get to see her kick a little ass, and it's really great because you come into her and you really get to see all the aspects of her as an adult, or a lot of them anyway.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you're kind of a pro at playing Leon now, and Leon's sort of pro. And you talked about how he's having some PTSD because he's been through this ever since the Raccoon City incident.
Oh yeah, first day on the job, man. Talk
Very
about bad
first
luck
day on
for
the
him.
job. Yeah. I wonder if you could walk me through a little bit more about what fans can expect for Leon's journey in Vendetta. How's he going to deal with this?
I don't want to spoil too much.
Don't spoil too much, though.
That's kind of what you go to watch it for, is to see that journey.
That's right.
I will say, he's used to being a loner, so it does help to have some other familiar faces at his back, even if he hasn't necessarily worked with them in the past. So much he knows of them and their reputation. That probably bolsters him a little bit. The more cynical he gets, the more aggressive swagger he displays in times.
Sure.
So you can definitely look forward to that aspect of Leon from here and there. He's the master of one-liners, so he gets to have that ridiculousness. And the action sequences that he and Chris get into, and you have an awesome action sequence too. It's just fun to watch. It's just sheer visual joy to see some of these scenes play out.
That is such a good way to put it. During the screening, so we went to a screening at Sony a couple months ago, so we got to see a pretty early cut.
Right.
I mean, we were gasping, cheering.
Yeah. I've seen enough, major motion picture, Fast and Furious movies to be like, cool, action. I know action. There are moments I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
And it's CG, so you can kind of stretch those bounds a little bit. You can do things that other actors wouldn't be able to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about the process, because I've always been interested in going behind the scenes in a CG movie. When you're working with a script, do they tell you, okay, this is what's going on, you need this intonation because you're flying through the air, you're grappling with a zombie. What has this been like for you, Aaron?
Yeah. Oh, for me? Oh, sorry. I was like Matt.
Well, I'm going to get to him.
Yeah.
First you.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said. You get directed. You see it in front of you happening, so you're in the booth, kind of just,
Right.
Or my favorite was there was one when it was a really scary moment, do like the suspense before.
I know which one, yeah.
Yeah, there's like little suspense, and I remember we did this one gasp. I'm not kidding. It felt like 8 times to get it exactly right. Like, you know, it was like the most minute
subtlety.
and that's what makes it so beautiful when you watch. Is I mean, you're so solid. You're so talented, truly. But like, it's so cool to have like all those little tiny moments that really flesh out the movie and the character, and so it's a super fun challenge to get to do it all.
Yeah, most definitely. It's one of those, well, through each part of the process too, because if you're just doing animation in kind of a void, if you just have a script in front of you and you're creating, then it's definitely I have no context, please tell me, director, as much as you can so I can get in the ballpark.
Right.
Then if you have ADR, like we did after the mocap and everything was done for this project, which you did all the motion capture for Rebecca as well, so you had the initial, the memory of being in those sequences and playing off of your own performance. I was doing my ADR to Jason Font, who had done the motion capture for Leon and a few previous projects as well.
Sure.
So for me, it's not just, it's reading somebody else's motions and trying to fit natural sounds and my natural voice into somebody else's physical performance, which is a very unique challenge in its own right.
Yeah.
But it's a blast, and it's kind of a cool series of unique. It's almost like a mini game. That's the way I can put it.
Right.
It's like, okay, how can I fit this natural performance within this time period to make sure to hit these vowels and this motion lips at the same time, but also have the physicality of them hitting the wall and then ducking low, but also at the right volume level with the right amount of texture, where it's not going to let the guys that they're stealthing past.
Wow,
it's a lot of layers you have to be concentrating on in that moment, and I don't know, it's a fun challenge.
Yeah, I told Matt I feel like this about it. I'm like, that's crazy, because I ADR'd myself, and that was challenging enough, so.
Right. Now, you're new to the Resident Evil franchise, but do you play games at all? Do you dabble much in there?
Ashamed to say that I am not a gamer, but I love the culture and the world, and because I was a Power Ranger, I've been to a lot of conventions, so it's like I love cosplay, I love all of it. I just don't know as much of it. And
sure.
That's what telling Matt. I was like, I want to play D&D with you. Like, I'm learning about this world,
And now you're at E3. You're in the thick of it.
I am like, my eyes are saucers. I can barely focus. Are we talking? Am I talking? What's happening?
I know.
Yeah. So I'm learning, and it's funny because I do have an Xbox. I've had one for years, and I have like the motion, the movement one.
Oh yeah.
My God, you guys, seriously, that's how. Sorry, everybody.
Well, it was great to have you both here. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, like I told you before we sat down. I'm really looking to see Vendetta, and thank you both for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, David.
Great to meet you
pleasure.
both.
Great to meet you too.
And we will be back soon. Follow us at Shacknews on Twitter, and we'll be back shortly.